Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, a little backwards already. So yes,
I'm
don't
not
laugh
entirely
at me like
sure on what's going on
No,
here,
no,
but
we never are.
Something tells me we have comics for you.
I think so. We have many comics this week actually. Not a lot in the trade section, but lots of floppies.
Good old classic floppies,
That's
yeah.
right,
For those of
that's
you
right.
that don't appreciate the nuanced graphic novels, to start off, why not a comic about comics? Yeah. We have the first issue of a two-part miniseries from Dark Horse. This is The Eltingville Club by Evan Dorkin. You may recognize them from previous, 20 years worth of comics. Evan Dorkin is one of the best and most prolific cartoonists to still be putting stuff out. They can really be classified as just, cartoonists.
Well, in like straight alternative, doing like alt comics back when they were like, alternative comics. He did the Bill and Ted's comics and Milk and Cheese.
Yes, fun with Milk and Cheese.
Very
Everybody
much
loves
fun.
that. He also did a series called, appropriately enough, Dork. But every single page is jam-packed with great, weirdly cross-hatched nerds, plenty of neckbeards, ponytails, unibrows, horn-rimmed glasses.
It's everything you love to hate about the comic book industry, done in a very intelligently and witty, satirical way.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
great.
Yes.
Absolutely genius.
I laughed my ass off when I read that.
Mostly because he was like, it's my life story.
I know, it's sad. It's sad. Girls run away from me too, it's okay. From IDW, Darby Pop here, we've got Seventh Sword, with this awesome Andrew Robinson cover. This is created and written by John Raffo, who is a screenplay,
Screenwriter.
a screenplayer.
Is what it's called.
He's a screenplayer. He does them word things under the pictures. Yeah.
Teaming up with Drawer Nelson Blake
Drawer
II.
Nelson Blake II. John Raffo brought you Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which some pretty good credentials right there. But yes, you've got samurai, cyberpunky kind of.
Yeah, I've got
Kinda deal,
desert samurai action going on with your prerequisite white dude with a samurai sword.
That's right.
Because it can't be an alternate future and have an actual Japanese guy wielding a samurai sword.
No. Definitely reminds me of Robotica, which Alex Sheetman did from Archaia a few years back. But yeah, it's got some seriously clean work. Dave McCaig does the colors, who makes everything look really nice and very, very shiny.
Yeah, you got mutant frogmen, robot spider women with like 6 swords.
Yeah.
Very insidious looking advisor type dudes. Really classic cyber fantasy story going on here.
Yeah, the mutant frogmen look like rejects from Kevin Eastman's sketchbook, which so very cool.
Another cool thing right here from Marvel. The team of Mark Waid and Chris Samney bring the second issue of the new Daredevil volume. Yes, there have already been 2 issues before this, but that was 1 and 1.50, so,
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
Number
we're doing
2.
Marvel math.
Don't worry. The less you think about it, the better. But this has Daredevil acclimating more to his new San Francisco home. That is San Francisco he's in right now, right? It was somewhere in California. I don't know.
California's all the same. It's that place over there.
We're reintroduced to another classic Marvel character in this issue, the Shroud. Doing some really, really gnarly stuff with him, kinda. He's, seen better days, let's just say.
Indeed, indeed.
We're gonna send it off now over to Will, who has recently returned from Fan Expo Vancouver. He's got quite a bit of news from there, along with, prerequisite Marvel, DC, all that junk. He's broadened his horizons with his time in Canada.
Hey everybody, I want to start off with a salute to 2 of the most amazing, deadliest femme fatales in comics. Let's start off with Elektra, a brand new #1, the greatest assassin of the Marvel Universe in her own new series, by Hayden Blackman, formerly of Catwoman, and Mike Del Mundo, who I met this weekend at Fan Expo Vancouver, and I just talked to him forever about this crazy cover with all the ninjas that kind of spell out Elektra. She's the greatest assassin, you know her, but she wants to start a new course, and she gets this weird contract, and I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm absolutely fascinated as I see this. It's like some weird spiritual assassin's journey with animals and all kinds of stuff. It looks spooky, crazy, supernatural, and a really creative team on a great iconic character. I'm really excited about Elektra #1 this week. DC's coolest femme fatale, Catwoman, is in a brand new storyline called The Race of Thieves. Now, basically, Selena Kyle is going to be part of this global, globe-trotting treasure hunt, if you will, to see who's the best thief in the DC universe. And so she's going to be going up against some super-powered criminals like Flashes, Rogues, and others. So if she doesn't have powers, what's she going to do? She's going to become smarter, she's going to become more manipulative, and she's got this cool sidekick now called Tesla, who's kind of like if James Bond has a Q, it's a weapons master. I actually talked with the legendary Ann Nesenti, writer of this book, at Emerald City Comic Con. Go to comicsman.com to check out my interview with her about Catwoman, the new series, and what she thinks is the essence of Selena Kyle. Catwoman 30. The biggest event of the year, there's always an event every year at Marvel, and last year was Amazing Infinity. I loved it. This year, it's Original Sin, which is going to be by Jason Aaron and Mike Deodato. And we know it's basically Who Killed the Watcher. But this is the prologue by Mark Waid and Jim Chung. And it pretty much, it's weird. It's like there's this crazy, strange alien bald guy who's been on the moon just watching all this time. And Nova, of all the heroes in the Marvel Universe, asks some of the questions that nobody else has done, and so he goes in search, and we learn a lot about the Watcher and who he is and his origins, and how does all this lead up to the big murder that's going to shake the Marvel Universe. And it's incredible art by Jim Chung, and I really loved how Mark Waid captured in a character kind of like Black Bolt, who's really silent, how he can capture emotion and story and all this compelling. It's just really cool. I really like this a lot. Batman Eternal is the weekly. This is chapter 3. I talked about it for the past 3 weeks, but I really love it. It's, Scott Snyder leads a whole team of writers, and it's basically this one storyline where we know how it ends, and so everything's building up to it, and they really literally cover almost every corner of Gotham City, almost every character in Batman's universe, and there's a certain cool factor of, ooh, who's going to pop up next? Like in this one, brace yourself, Stephanie Brown fans. We saw the tease in Batman 28, but she is here. The spoiler is made her New 52 debut, along with some other characters from the Batman universe making their New 52 debut. I really like it. One big story, Jim Gordon is behind bars. Gang war in Gotham City. Batman's kind of all on his own. The police are against Batman, and there's this big mystery leading up to, if you saw issue 1, you know how it ends. All 3 of the first chapters are here right now. And finally, in the aftermath of Forever Evil, there is a new Justice League United. And this is by Jeff Lemire and Mike McComb. And what's kind of interesting is it's a whole new team. They're going to be based in Toronto, Canada. To our neighbors to the north. But it's really cool. I mean, look at the lineup. You got Supergirl, you got Animal Man, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, and there's a brand new Canadian character called Equinox. And part of the story is going to be set in Canada, but it's also, this is going to be introducing to the New 52 Adam Strange and the world of Rand, so all the kind of cosmic cool stuff of the DC Universe into a big mystery. So those are my picks for the week that I think you might want to check out. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Will, for regaling us with your tales from the far-off exotic lands of Canada. And coming back here from another from IDW, the Turtles return to the city. They have had their time leisurely hanging about, getting mistaken for strange aliens and having to deal with Scully and Mulder. But yes, Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz, and Matthias Santaluco is back to bring you gritty turtles in the sewers and the street corners and dark alleys as you love, with Bebop, Rocksteady, lots of gangsters.
Somehow cramming themselves into the back of a squad car.
Which is pretty intense.
I don't know how that's possible.
No. But there are some serious neck muscles in this comic. Matthias Santaluco has stepped up his neck muscle game, which is essential for good Turtles comics. So, there you go.
Speaking of things to get your 80s nostalgia going, we have a couple things here from...
We're gonna break it out?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Is that even a question?
Yeah.
Our friends Mr. Caleb Gulner and Buster Moody have blessed us with 2 whole issues of Task Force Rad Squad. Yes, Task Force Rad Squad. It is the greatest Power Rangers tribute comic ever made. I think it's pretty safe to say it's not the only one. I mean,
It's
there might have
probably
been
not
like
the
one or
only
two
one, but
others
it's certainly
somewhere.
the best. Got colors by Ryan Hill, who's been slaving over coloring Ulysses Farina's insane Judge Dredd Mega City 2 comic. But, I mean, like, look at this cover. It's got wizards, it's got giant robots, there's kaiju in it, and this one, it's got monster cats!
There are multiple cat puns on the cover right there.
Huge.
They managed to tack in a bread pun.
Yeah.
I don't even...
You've basically got Silver Fighter, Red Fighter, Green Fighter, and Blue Fighter, and yes, they all have their very rad, very awesome own mobile thingies, you know. It's all like an action figure line. And, you know, the best one being, of course, the Silver Space Car of Swagness.
Because, you know, obvious reasons.
Clearly. But we've got issue 1 and 2, $5 each. There will be public shaming if you don't buy this. For sure.
As is prerequisite with these type of things.
That's right. And at this time, let us throw over to our other lovely companion in the Comic Should Smell Good world, Miss Anna Peterson, who's going to bring us stuff from the 40s and the 80s and other weird time.
Yeah, all kinds of time periods.
Time traveling Anna. To you.
The old becomes new again in this new release from Fantagraphics, Donald Duck and the Trail of the Unicorn. It's the 8th volume in the Carl Barks library, completing the entire Donald Duck collection of his comics. Carl Barks was the best writing this series, and it gets a little fantastical when Scrooge and the boys try to take back a unicorn that Uncle Scrooge has stolen. Santa Claus also drops in, so do polar bears, and more unicorns. It's a weird series, but it's weird from the 40s. It's different from your weird from now, so you should introduce your kids to a 40s weird. Got a new graphic novel from Drawn and Quarterly, done by Mimi Pond, who was a pretty prolific cartoonist in the 80s, and she took a break when she decided to raise a family with her art husband, Wayne White, who you might have seen on the new Netflix documentary. This is basically a memoir of her time in New York, in the art scene, being broke, in art school, dating around, going to punk shows. Basically probably what you're doing now, but in the 80s. So you got 40s weird, you got 80s weird. It's a great memoir that captures that time period pretty perfectly. And Mimi Pond is an amazing cartoonist still. We're gonna get some action adventure next up with Sheltered number 8 from Ed Brisson and Johnny Christmas. If you're unfamiliar with Sheltered, pre-apocalyptic story where parents try to shelter their kids by rounding them up and putting them in an encampment. Except the real danger lies within Lucas, who is a most troubled teen who goes on a rampage. Things don't get any better for them in this 8th issue, and it's pretty devastating all around. Things get hopeful, things get bleaker, like most post or pre-apocalyptic stories do. And last up, we got issue number 6 on letter 44 from Charles Soule. It is the final issue of the first arc, and when life ends on Earth, life begins again in the intergalactic battlefield that is us against the aliens. They discover a little more about our intergalactic foes, and it's not good. Neither are our foes on the Earth, but President Blake finally takes a stand against his enemies, and we get some awesome presidential ass-kicking. Letter 44 is fantastic, as are all the rest of these books. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Anna, for that very educational and, you know, time-traveling adventure through comics this week. Very much so. And we have...
Extremely.
Yes. We have some more current comics for you this week.
Time travel and things that are going to hurt your head.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with Uncanny Avengers? Because you really should be. With this number 19 being the second part of Avenge the Earth, the Avengers have gone under quite the makeover here.
That looks kind of weird.
Yeah, now being led by Kang the Conqueror with such greats as Doom 2099,
Yes!
Thor, Ahab, evil totalitarian Psylocke, and Strife, also Iron Man 2020, and I don't know, some kind of Deathlock abomination there, and
I can't believe they used Iron Man 2020.
Earth X Spider-Woman. Awesome. This comic is absolutely insane, if we haven't made that clear. We've still got copies of the first issue of this storyline, which, funny enough, comes with a digital download code for the first collection of the series. So, you know, if you're way behind, it's about time you caught up.
That's right. Daniel Acuna, Rick Remender, very awesome. And for all you Marvel moviegoers out there, we've got the... And I don't quite know how 14 equals double-sized anniversary issue, like...
Well, technically, you know how they do that whole, okay, well, this is the 500th overall issue of Daredevil thing.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
doing that, although they did make a note that this is actually the 101st issue, technically. They were busy doing the whole
Marvel
X-Men
math
crossover
is just
thing. It's
is
cool.
not happening. Anyway, Bendis is joined by all-star artist Nick Bradshaw to bring you some seriously badass sci-fi space action, complete with Venom in space, because you need Venom in space.
How do you make Venom better? You put him
in space. He's got really cool guns, and there's cow people, and he shoots people. And you know what? That's all you need to know about this comic.
And you also get Nick Bradshaw drawing the intricacies of Star-Lord's bedroom, in case you ever wondered, all of his stash of comic book merchandise.
And you have a whole Groot backup, in case you wanted to know why he just says...
I am Groot.
And cover of the week comes to us from the master of psychedelic gradients himself,
Mr. James
Mr. Stocco, who, while not a Canadian, is
he's exiled
relegated
up there, so
and exiled to Canada. But yes, this is Rogue Trooper #3 by Alberto Ponticelli and Brian Ruckley. This issue has much more murder than the second one, which, you know, was a little slow. But yes, I mean, look at this cover. Oh my god.
Yeah, that cover alone, it just makes me want that episode of the Rogue Trooper TV series that we're never actually going to get.
Ever. No. But yes, so if you come away with one thing this week, buy Task Force Rad Squad. And these other comics.
Yeah, I was going to say something about the other ones, but that's cool too.
And Buster's paying me, so I got to get that in there. Alright. See you guys.